I think I've just gotten to the point here with this run where I can take my time, and I have a partnership with Joe and with Mike. I really want this to end perfectly. I'm not doing this for leverage. I'm just doing it because I want to see where our organization is at the end of the year, where I am and where the players are. And then I kind of assume that it's going to go well and I'll be back, to be honest with you. At this stage, just take it year by year and see where everyone is.
Last year, just like you, out in Paris, winning the gold medal, a lot of basketball being played. I'm sure that was a challenge for him getting ready for the season last year. Didn't have as much basketball on his schedule this offseason. Have you noticed a fresher Steph at all coming into this training camp?
I mean, he just always looked great, honestly. And by the way, here's my dog Lulu, in case you were wondering.
Lulu.
But Steph has, I thought the other night in Portland, did you guys get a chance to see the game?
Yes. He was amazing.
I mean, he looked like Steph Curry always has. So he still got it. I mean, I think the biggest thing when you're 37 is maintaining the level over the course of 82 games. And it just gets harder and harder. And at some point, everybody runs into father time. And I think the important thing this year is for us to really navigate the season well, not only for Steph, but for Al, for Draymond, for Jimmy. These guys are all incredible players, but they're they got a lot of mileage on them, and we've got to collaborate with them and the performance staff and make sure we put them in the best possible position to maintain that level.
Yeah, Steve, I wonder if you'd expand on that a little bit for the fans in terms of what they should expect with everyone who's had their 35th birthday and what that kind of means for back-to-backs and games played and whatnot.
Yeah, it's a little tricky because we have to comply with the league and the rules they have with with the stars and then the back-to-back rules, the national TV rules. But there's no question. I mean, those guys are all going to miss games, whether it's because of injury or because they really need the rest because they're banged up. And so we will, as always, we'll work with the league and make sure we're complying by the rules. But that means at times not practicing. It means, sitting out a game occasionally, hopefully not too many, but there are certain stretches of the schedule that get more difficult, whether it's, because the player is banged up or because of the travel and the travel back and forth. Sometimes we'll have like a 4-game trip back east, come home, play 1 game, and then go back out on the road. And our performance team, they tell me, like, our players are way more vulnerable based on the schedule. And so we have people all over that, and that's how we're navigating everything.
Steve, you mentioned Father Time being undefeated, and Steph has already, I think, surpassed all of our possible expectations given the way that he's playing at his age. Do you ever just sit around and think that, this ride that you've been on with Steph is going to come to an end invariably at some point? I imagine that's not an easy thing to think about, considering the things that you guys have done together, knowing that at some point, relatively soon, it's got to come to an end.
Yeah, well, it's all gravy at this point. I mean, I never could have imagined, 11 years here, and this is year 12, and I never could have imagined, winning 4 titles and going to the finals 6 times. I mean, it's just been an amazing run, and my main focus now is just enjoying every second of this while it lasts, because we don't know. We don't know when it's going to end.
Steve, I want to ask you a couple of Jimmy Butler questions, and the first is this. I wonder if you'd take us all back to last year and his arrival. I can remember you telling us that, you'd never even met the guy, and there were some things you didn't know in terms of what to expect. I've got to think entering a major contributor into any team mid-season probably comes with some challenges that all of us out here don't really realize. Can you speak to what that was like and what challenges were associated?
Honestly, most players, you're exactly right. There's a big challenge, especially most great players, because the whole team has to adapt and the coach has to adapt and the player himself has to get used to his new surroundings. I can honestly say there was like zero adaptation or adjustment that they came. We started winning immediately. Jimmy is such a great player. He was also the perfect fit for us because, he doesn't turn it over and he takes the ball to the rim. He gets fouled. These were all areas that we struggled in, right? We've been a high turnover team. Steph and Draymond take a lot of chances, so we've always thrived with high IQ players around Steph and Draymond, guys like Andre Iguodala and Sean Livingston and David West and all these guys who could, really feel the game and understand what we needed. So all of a sudden we get Jimmy. Not only are we taking care of the ball, but we're getting fouled. And when you get fouled, you get your defense set up and you get free points, easy points. Jimmy arrived and it was like an instant fit. And we hardly had to do anything as a coaching staff to make it happen. The puzzle just immediately fit.
So with that said, many of you have also said that having him for a full camp and a full year is just a huge, huge attribute for all of you now. I mean, it may have been seamless then, but can you detail why it's so important to you guys now to have this time and to start a season with him?
Well, mostly relationships and chemistry, continuity. We have great confidence now. When he got here, we weren't sure what was going to happen. And then he arrives and we go 23-7 and we upset the number 2 seed in the playoffs. Like, we're going into this year, like we're good. We proved it last year. We were top 5 in both offense and defense. So we have a blueprint that everybody's feeling confident with. And then we all just know each other better than we did before. So there's a comfort level.
Steve, your GM, Mike Dunleavy, was on this station last week and talked about how last year at this time going into the season, he felt like the roster was incomplete and that you guys needed a move. That move ended up being the big move, at least, ended up being Jimmy Butler. And then he went on to say, I don't feel that way at all about this year. He goes into this season feeling like the roster's complete, like it's set. There isn't a major move that needs to be made. Do you agree? And if you do, when was the last time you felt as good about your opening night roster as you will with this one?
I do agree. I think we are set. We love our roster. We love the mix of our young guys with our vets. We think our young guys have made huge strides the last couple of years and are ready to take another step forward, and that they'll be able to help us win games when some of the older guys are missing games due to injury or rest or whatever it is. So love the roster. And, to be honest, over my 12 years, I've been incredibly blessed with great rosters year in and year out. So it's not always, a picture perfect fit. I think the last few years, the fit has been a little tricky at times, but this feels really good. The puzzle definitely fits well this year, and we have a lot of guys who can really contribute.
You mentioned 12 years on the job. Steve, what's the best part of it? What's the worst part of it? And you're not allowed to say that talking to us is the worst part of it.
The best part is that I look forward every day to getting to the gym. And when you can roll out of bed and be excited about your day every day, then you're winning. And so I'm winning on that front. The worst part, honestly, is the travel, the flights, getting home or getting somewhere at 2:00 in the morning. I didn't mind it when I was a player. When you're young, it doesn't affect you as much. You get a little older and those long flights catch up to you a little bit. You got to spend the next day recovering. That part's not that much fun, but small price to pay for an incredible job and a wonderful life that I get to live.
Yeah, 60 years old, I'm told, although you don't look like it, Steve.
How old do I look?
Not a day over 55, that's for sure.
Fair. All right. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Well, speaking of the job, though, Steve, I thought you were very, very forthcoming last week when asked about going into this, the last year of your current contract, and sort of expressing there's no stress around this, that everybody's on the same page, and it just is where it is right now. But I want to play for our audience something that owner Joe Lacob said on the TK show recently, because there was sort of a specific way that he packaged the conversation that you guys might have. So here it is when TK asks Joe Lacob about your future and your contract.
Yeah, if it was up to, I know it's a hypothetical, but if it's up to you, he came to you, let's do this for another year, you would be all on board for that, another 2 years, another 3 years?
I mean, I'm not going to commit to anything like that. I think the only thing I want to know is that he wants to do it and he has the energy and drive and enthusiasm for it. That is a requirement I do need from him. I need it from our GM. I need it from everyone in the organization, and including me. Mm-hmm. I need to be motivated. I need to be enthusiastic. I need to be working my ass off every day. And if I can get that out of them, then I want them to be here.
I thought that was an interesting choice of words there. The energy, drive, and enthusiasm. Is that part of the thought process on your end? A question in your mind?
No, it's, I think, I'm not worried about that part of it. And I think Joe is exactly right. I love that he said that. I think we all need to be enthused and energized to do a great job. I think I've just gotten to the point here, with this run where I can take my time and I have a partnership with Joe and with Mike where they understand. I want to just see where everything is at the end of the year. And I think it benefits them too. You see a lot of cases where things don't end well with a coach and maybe it's time to move on and, they have to pay the coach and there's, there can be some acrimony. I really want this to end perfectly, just the way it's supposed to end. It's been such an amazing run. And so whether that is at the end of this year or the end of next year or the year after, it's going to end really well. And we have a partnership here that allows us to do that, where we can just say, look, let's just take it year by year. And I'm not doing this for leverage. I'm just doing it because I want to see where our organization is at the end of the year, where I am and where the players are. And then I kind of assume that it's going to go well and I'll be back, to be honest with you. But I just think it makes sense to just, at this stage, just take it year by year and see where everyone is.
Stephen, in your mind, this ending perfectly, does that mean, when you imagine it, does that mean, you and Steph riding off in the sunset together? Like, can you imagine not finishing this out with Steph as a Warrior?
No, I can't imagine that. But, things change dramatically in sports and in so many ways. You never know how anything plays out. And again, this allows everybody to just not worry about it. And we get on the same page at the end of the year once we see, how the hand is laid out. And like I said, I'm not sitting here saying, using this for leverage, like I'm going to go somewhere else. And this is just about, I'm 60 years old. I've been here. I will have been here 12 years. There's going to be a next era to this thing. And at that point, I'm very sure that Joe and Mike should bring somebody new in and get a new face, new blood, all of that. But if, hopefully that's not for 2 or 3 years and I'm here during that whole run. And that's kind of what I expect, but like I said, this allows us to just play it out and see what happens.